Well, Sarah Pochin is the Reform UK MP for Runcorn and Helsby. Sarah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Peter, and thank you for having me on the show.
Always great to have you on. Tell me about this migration scheme. It seems that the government don't even know how it works themselves. If they don't know, how is it actually going to be effective?
It's very clear, isn't it, Peter, that the ministers and the people advising those ministers and the government generally really do not understand the policies that they are putting in front of the British people. And what that does, of course, means that the British people have no confidence in this government, or I should say the last Conservative government, to sort this problem out. The Labour Party is in absolute disarray. They don't understand what they're saying, which just proves that it's another ill thought through suggestion by this government on how to deal with this crisis.
How would Reform UK deal with it? Would they keep the one in, one out scheme? Would they reform it, scrap it? What would you do?
The one in, one out scheme is absolute nonsense, and in fact, I think makes us worse off, because it's not one in, one out. It's, one out, and as you say, 17 at least in. We know that anyone that we accept in will be bringing endless extended family with them. We don't want this deal. It's not tackling the problem. We are facing, on a good day now, up to 1,000 illegal immigrants coming in across the channel. This one in, one out nonsense is nothing more than that. It's white noise, it's nonsense, it's doing nothing to solve what I now call is a national emergency. And to answer your question, Peter, reform will be really tough, as we've always said, on the channel. I mean, watching Chris Philps suddenly down on the, wherever he is down there on the cliffs of Dover suddenly, well, why weren't they doing anything when they were in power?
Well, in fairness, Sarah, you were a member of that party for a long time. I mean, you had your role to play
up
as
until
well.
2020, Peter. I left 5 years ago.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I left was because of policies that didn't come through, like leaving the European Court of Human Rights, for example. So just going back to answering your question, though, reform would get absolutely tough on anybody that sets foot on a beach in this country, gets swept up, deported, offshore, never sets foot in this country again legally. Okay, so that's quite clear. We patrol the channel with the Navy if necessary. Border Force are given proper instructions not to escort these people to our shores. We have to get tough. We have to turn those boats back. And as I say, anybody that does make it through to our shores gets immediately deported out of this country.
Economically, do you think it's good news, bad news that interest rates have been cut to 4%? Mortgage holders will certainly welcome it, but does it show that there is at least some movement in a positive direction in the economy? What's your evaluation of that, Sarah?
Well, look, the interest rates going down is an independent decision, as we know, by the Bank of England. The fact is, and of course, it makes mortgages cheaper for those that actually have a mortgage. But the fact is that this government has created an environment where getting on the housing ladder is almost impossible. It's punishing businesses. It's punishing people, workers that are trying to find jobs. The number of jobs available is going down month after month. So the environment of taxing businesses, increasing minimum wage, bringing in the workers' rights bill makes less jobs available. If you don't have a job, what on earth is your chance of getting on the housing ladder? So I would say, look, again, yes, interest rates have gone down, but the overall economic environment that we find ourselves in under this Labour government is not one about growth. It's not one about pro-business. And those are the things that sustain the economy.
I want to ask you, just speaking about housing, about the Homelessness Minister. This is Rushanara Ali, who is a Labour MP. She owns property herself. She has kicked out the tenants and jacked up the rent so she can market it elsewhere. Now, she, of course, is in charge of policy for the Labour government in regard to this. She hasn't broken the rules in any way, but it smacks to me of hypocrisy. This is what the Conservative Party chairman, Kevin Hollingrake, has said earlier. He's called on the Homelessness Minister, Rushanara Ali, to resign.
I think it shows staggering hypocrisy. Rushanara Ali has been somebody who's obviously a government minister in charge of homelessness. She's spoken out about exploited tenants, about providing more protections for tenants. You can't say those things, then do the opposite in practice as a landlord. She's got to resign. I think as the law stands today, it was unethical, not illegal. But you can't just say one thing and do another. And that's what we see time and time again from some Labour ministers, saying one thing and doing another. So you're not bound by the law to follow it to the letter of the law. If you can do the right thing by tenants, which most landlords in this country do, what Rushanara Ali has done, she's increased the rent deliberately by around 20%, by £700 a month. So that seems extremely unfair. The tenant wanted another tenancy, and that could have been assessed by an independent tribunal, but no, she decided to kick these tenants out, 4 tenants, and put new people in so she could have more money.
That is Kevin Hollingreich there, the chairman of the Conservative Party, slamming the Homelessness Minister, Rushanara Ali. She threw people out of living in her East London property and later relisted it for hundreds of pounds more. She also told tenants that they'd be charged £2,400 for the house to be repainted and professionally cleaned. I mean, I'll do it for half of that. Sarah, what do you make of this story?
What an absolute disgrace. I don't often agree with the Conservative Party, but what Kevin was saying there, he used the words hypocritical. You know, absolutely, it is a disgrace. She is the minister, and what she's done, she's making the most. She's lining her own pockets with her own policies. I would like to know, Peter, whether or not that house that she has turfed her tenants out of and increased the rent, has that gone to one of the houses of multiple occupancy? Is that now full of asylum seekers? Let's ask some of these difficult questions, because we know, don't we, that the government itself, through the likes of Serco, are paying these higher rents and causing people like my residents here in Runcorn and Helsby not to be able to get on the housing ladder for rented accommodation. They're now being priced out of the market by increased rents by providers like Serco, who are sweeping up, cleaning up rented properties on the market, and they're no longer available for British tenants. So I'd love to know a bit more about the background to this story. But look, it's just another example of politicians being hypocritical and lacking integrity. Before her, there was Tulip. What was the name?
Tulip Sadiq.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I know.
She was the anti-corruption minister who is facing allegations of corruption. Well, she's facing allegations of corruption.
I beg your pardon. Yeah, facing allegations of corruption. But again, you know, it's these sort of politicians that give politicians a bad name, and it's people like myself with integrity standing up as a strong voice for the public are the reason why Reform Now is so popular as a party.
Sarah,
to vote
you
for.
said you agreed with Kevin Hollingreich there. I said you don't always agree with the Conservatives. What about what Chris Philp is now saying, the Shadow Home Secretary, on ID cards? What do you feel about ID cards, digital ID cards? Is that something that Reform UK would support?
Well, look, I personally don't have a problem with an ID card. You know, I don't see what the issue is. Most of our most of our information now is on our smartphones anyway.
Can we trust the system, though?
Well, what's more, how much more could we be at risk? As I say, all of our information is out there in a cloud, in the ether, whatever you want to call it. It's all available, isn't it? We can all be tracked now if somebody wants to track us. Oh, apart from illegal asylum seekers coming in.
Your party leader, Nigel Farage, says he's against them. So you're for them, but he's against them.
Look, I'm just saying that personally, I don't have a problem with it.
What's the Reform Party policy on it? Your leader seems to be saying one thing, you seem to be saying something else, Sarah.
I don't think we have a clear policy at the moment. If we do, then I don't know what it is. You know, but the point is I'm giving you my opinion.
Sure.
Nigel might have a different opinion, and when I chat to him next, I'll bring it up and see what the right thing to, you know, not what we are saying.
Sure.
But I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's got to come. And what I would say about about ID cards is it will identify people that are coming in illegally, and if we took their DNA and if we did the facial recognition at places like Marston, the place in Kent where they all pass through, then we'd have a much better track on people in the community being dispersed through houses of multiple occupation, such that when crimes are committed, sexual attacks on women take place, we can track down these individuals. So, you know what, personally, I don't have a problem with it.
OK. Sarah, thank you very much. That's Sarah Pochin there, who is the Reform UK MP for Runcorn and Helsby.